What's good, everybody? We are back with another NBA talk type of video. So we're probably going to have more of these on the channel in the future just because this isn't really my main channel anymore, which means this doesn't have to be all about what I think is going to get most views because it's not paying my bills. My other channel is paying my bills. This is going to be about what I want to talk about. And really what I want to talk about right now is free agency, especially this thing that happened actually relatively soon after we ended our free agency talk live stream yesterday. Free agent Demarcus Cousins has agreed to a deal with the Golden State Warriors. First time I saw this, Shams was the first person to tweet it. First time I saw this, I thought his account got hacked. I thought there is no way that Demarcus Cousins had signed with the Warriors. But then I go to Woj's account. Woj, however you want to pronounce it. Woj tweets out, Cousins will sign a 1-year, $5.3 million deal with the Warriors, league sources tell ESPN. If you go and look, Demarcus Cousins earlier this year had a offer for 2 years, $20 million from the Pelicans, and they actually ended up withdrawing it. You can see right here, Demarcus Cousins rejected 2 year $40 million, $20 million a year extension offer from the Pelicans before the end of the season. And then they ended up withdrawing it. But this is just absolutely mind-boggling to me for a number of reasons. So to give you guys a little bit of background, I wouldn't categorize myself as... I'm definitely not a diehard Warriors fan, but I've been a Steph Curry fan ever since he was at Davidson. I loved his run through the NCAA tournament. Davidson is literally like 30 minutes from where I live right now. They're actually my college's rival, but my college sucks at all sports, so I didn't really care that much. I still like Davidson. One of my favorite high school teachers went to Davidson, so all that together, I really like Steph Curry. I really like Del Curry because he played for the Hornets, and he's actually still a sportscaster for the Hornets as well. So I had always cheered for the Warriors whenever it came down to, because for the last 4 or 5 seasons, every postseason, it's been the Warriors versus the Cavaliers. So most people get to the point where they've got to pick which team they're going to cheer for, and I picked the Warriors because I was a Steph Curry fan. And 4 or 5 years ago, there wasn't much reason to not like the Warriors. I also like Steph Curry because he's a great shooter, and shooting is literally like the only thing that I can do well in basketball. So I kind of try to be like Steph Curry. I don't know. He's just really entertaining to watch. And so because of that, I was a Warriors fan. Even whenever Kevin Durant signed, I thought it was absolutely a cop-out move by Durant. And obviously this Demarcus Cousins move is going to draw a lot of comparisons to what Durant did. It was a cop-out move. It didn't make me stop liking the Warriors because Steph Curry's still on the team. I didn't like the team because of Kevin Durant, but he was on there. And he took the cop-out route, but he also knew that he's in the NBA to win rings. That's what LeBron's there to do. But LeBron couldn't get the same people around him. I think if LeBron would have had the same opportunities, maybe he wouldn't have signed with the Warriors, but would have tried to get the same talent around him. Now, Kevin Durant did go to the team that had beaten him the year before after he was up 3-1 on them. So he probably could have taken down the Warriors, but at the same time, it's very understandable why he wouldn't want to be on the same team as Russell Westbrook. There's a lot of evidence towards Russell Westbrook just not being a great teammate. So it's understandable. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like it. Obviously, Kevin Durant became one of the most hated players in basketball until now. So I think a lot of people said last season the Warriors ruined basketball. I don't think last season the Warriors ruined basketball, or the season before. Especially if you look at the Western Conference playoffs, there's pretty good evidence that the reason that the Warriors even made it to the finals was because of the refs. Like, if it hadn't been for some questionable referee calls, they probably would have lost to the Rockets in the Western Conference finals. So I can understand people saying the West is overpowered. They're obviously, I would say they're pretty obviously better than the Rockets, but at the same time, there is a huge potential for them to lose. So while their team is ridiculous, I still felt like last year we had some good competition. And I think coming into this offseason, people were excited because LeBron went to LA, started building this team around him, This was all the day before Demarcus Cousins signed, and a lot of people thought Demarcus Cousins was somehow going to make his way to the Lakers. Obviously, the biggest issue there was Luol Deng's contract because he's getting $18 million for the next year, and he's not doing jack squat for them. And so they need to get rid of that because they didn't have enough cap space, but people kind of thought he was going to end up there. And then we get this. Shams tweets, free agent Demarcus Cousins agreed to a deal with the Golden State Warriors for $5.3 million, at least 75% less than what he's worth. And he only did it for 1 year. It's not like he's signed to a multi-year deal. This is basically him saying, there's no way I am ever going to win a ring unless I'm on the Golden State Warriors. So I'm going to go ahead and sign a deal for 1 year, get my ring, and then move on with my life. In my opinion, this is the most cowardly move in NBA history. This is like far and away more cowardly than what Kevin Durant did. I just can't even, like, because of this, I can't cheer for the Warriors anymore. Like, straight up, I just can't do it. There's no way I can cheer for a team that is so obviously 100% better than the rest of the league. Like, at least before the Warriors had a weak spot, they never really had a great center. They just got arguably the best center in the NBA. I would say definitely the best scoring center in the NBA. Obviously, he's a little weak defensively, but he shoots a three ball at 35%. He can post up inside. He can get boards. He gets blocks whenever he feels like trying. It's just ridiculous. Now, one thing I have seen a lot of people say is, how come back when who was it? The New Orleans Hornets tried to trade Chris Paul to the Lakers. They got vetoed, but this is allowed to happen. Well, these are two completely different situations. This is a signing. That was a trade. The commissioner can block a trade. He can't block a signing. Free agents are allowed to choose where they want to go. That's been a precedent for a long time. There's not really anything Adam Silver can do about this. So while there are a lot of people on NBA Twitter that are complaining about Adam Silver needs to do something about this, this is Adam Silver's fault, blah, 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 it's not Adam Silver's fault. This is completely allowed. It's just ridiculous. Like, the fact that Demarcus Cousins took that much of a pay cut. The thing is, when KD went to the Warriors, yes, it was a cop-out, but it's not like he was taking way, way less money to do it. He was still getting a nice contract. Obviously, he wanted to win a ring. He knew he was going to do it there, but he was also challenged. They were far and away the best team in the NBA, but they still got challenged. There is not going to be a single team that can challenge this Warriors team if they're healthy. Now, DeMarcus Cousins is going to be out until December or January, but that being said, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the playoffs, and only assuming that 4 of the 5 players on this roster are healthy, nobody's going to be able to beat them. You've got the best scorer in the NBA in Kevin Durant. You got the best shooter in the NBA in Steph Curry. You got the second best shooter in the NBA in Klay Thompson. You got probably top 3 defender in the NBA in Draymond Green. You've got probably the best center in the NBA in DeMarcus Cousins. I don't see how anybody can contend with that. I mean, even the Rockets, if they were to pick up, like, maybe if the Rockets picked up Kawhi, maybe they'd have a shot at challenging. Maybe if the Lakers picked up Kawhi, I don't see anybody's chance at beating them. Like, I would be surprised if this team won less than 75 games out of the 82 games that are going to be played this year. And there's no way I can cheer for that. Last season, when people would say the Warriors ruined the NBA, I would say that's not true. They didn't even have as good a record, and part of that's just consistency, injuries, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think they ruined the NBA last season. This signing ruined the NBA. And I don't think... Okay, so one thing, as a Steph Curry fan, as a kind of Warriors fan, I wouldn't call myself a true Warriors fan, but I cheer for the Warriors in the final. A lot of people try to blame Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson for this whole situation. This is not their fault. They were all drafted by the Warriors. So especially the people that would blame the 73-9 Warriors and say those Warriors ruined the NBA, that is not the case. And obviously any team, any player in the NBA wants to win. So it's understandable that these guys are doing whatever they can to win. Those guys got drafted by the Warriors. It was a legitimately built franchise. Kevin Durant, even though people didn't like the move, did go to the Warriors legitimately, took a reasonable amount of money. This is not a legitimate move. I don't know if there's anything that can be done. I hope there's something that can be done. I feel like there needs to be some sort of standard set. If you make some sort of all-NBA team, like the minimum that you're allowed to sign for, because if this continues to happen, then we're either going to have every all-star in the league on the Warriors, or you're going to have all the all-stars in the league on like 2 or 3 teams, and nobody's ever going to sign with a different team because all anybody cares about is getting the easiest possible road to a championship, and this is ridiculous. I would say DeMarcus Cousins is far and away the most cowardly player in the NBA because this takes nothing. Like, oh my gosh. I still can't believe that it happened. I really cannot believe that it happened. I feel bad for Warriors fans because this isn't really their fault. The GM is doing his job. Like, you can't really blame the GM because his objective is to win. So you can't really blame him. Can't blame Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green because they were already on the team. They were just the core that everything else got built around. You can blame Kevin Durant to a certain degree because he did take the easy way out. You can 100% blame DeMarcus Cousins because he was just an absolute pansy, to keep it family friendly. Just completely took the easy way. Like, I don't understand. Why are we playing the NBA season next season? What's going to be the purpose? The Warriors are going to sweep every team that they run into throughout the playoffs and in the finals. They're definitely, well, the Celtics could challenge them, but the Celtics aren't going to win more than one game. The Rockets could challenge them. They're not going to win more than one game. Unless either the Rockets or the Lakers get Kawhi, neither of them are really going to be able to challenge this team because at best, you've got 2 or 3 superstars. I'm not sure I'd categorize Chris Paul as a superstar anymore. He's definitely still an all-star. But I don't know, guys. I think something's got to happen. I think something's got to change. If nothing changes, nobody's going to watch the NBA next season. This is not going to be entertaining to watch. This is going to be like watching varsity versus JV, with the Warriors being varsity and everybody else in the league being JV. So let me know you guys' thoughts on this signing. I still can't believe that it happened. Hopefully, honestly, I hope that... I'm trying to think. There's not even any free agents left that could make that much of a difference. Boogie Cousins was the biggest free agent remaining, and he just completely wiped out the competition in the NBA, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but let me know what you guys think. If you're still planning on watching the NBA next season, it's kind of insane that I'm still trying to process it. I woke up this morning and was sad because I realized the NBA is still, update right now. Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns are progressing towards a 5-year, $158 million max contract extension as soon as the weekend. That's actually pretty big news. Good for Devin Booker. I wasn't sure if he was going to go back because they released his best friend, Tyler Ulis, but it looks like he's going to stay there. But let me know you guys' thoughts on the situation. What do you think the NBA is going to be like next season? Drop a like down below if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the squad if you are new, and I'll see you guys next time.